Well, it is Monday, and we are back in the garage here. Literally the garage, although I have two garages. One little one like this, and the big one in Ventura, which really isn't a garage. It's kind of a big bay, a lot office spaces, and upstairs, and we do all kinds of great stuff there. But today, after a wonderful day of flying yesterday, I'm back here to clean this printer. And you remember all the trouble I had? I thought I filmed a bunch of it, but what happened was is that I kept getting failed prints, and I finally went back to the beginning. And you can see how sharp, how clear this is. This is not like a PLA printers. There's no lines, no ripples. This is a true resin print. You can just make out the DNA spiral inside there. Trust me, it's there. Just like a spiral staircase DNA thing. This is absolutely a freaking perfect print. And that's because I cleaned this thing here, and which I haven't always been doing. I mean, I clean it off with water in the bucket there, and I get all the resin off and stuff. But I think after that, an alcohol bath, maybe a little light sanding with some 400 grit sandpaper, gets that surface really, really clean, and that makes a huge difference. Secondly, I went back to using the piece of paper, their piece of paper, and pressing down and tightening. Nothing special. And then, yes, it's hard to pull that piece of paper out. There is resistance there, but that's where it worked best. After all the tests I did, I get a perfect one. I mean, it's better than this one. So it's really perfect. So I'm going to knock this off. We'll see how well it's sticking. That's kind of important. I'm literally chipping it up trying to get it off. So okay, tap hammer, chisel. When it's that hard to get off, I would rather it be that way than anything else. Put it in the tank here, put it down there in the water, and we're gonna turn that on. Lights up. Gonna set it for, let's clean this for a while. About 7 minutes. And I'll start counting down, and then down there you can see the agitation that's going on. That does not hurt our little friend down there, and that will clean him up. When I first start cleaning this off with alcohol, you can see all the dark greenish weird stuff I'm getting. And then when I clean it off some more after that and wipe off all the excess, I hardly get anything. I'm thinking that whatever that residue is, that's what's causing all the problems. And you can see the outline of the big 6 finger that I was trying to print. And that outline is residue. And so we're going to clean it again with some more alcohol. I did take 400 grit sandpaper to it, and look what I got off of it. This is metal. I think it's got a coating on it because you can see where it's been scratched. And that's typical. Those scratches help you. You can see the outline of where the test was done too. So I'm going to clean it one more time, and it's ready to go back there. I don't have to level it again. We know the level is perfect, and then we're going to run a 6 finger or something. Okay, so now that, boy, 7 minutes isn't very long. It's amazing how fast it goes. Actually, it is long, but things just go so fast. I don't know if it has to do with age or what. Probably. Boy. That's so great. All right. Next, we're going to put it in there. Go. Now we're in the UV tank. And that yellow saves your eyes, because UV is not good for your eyes. So I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. And those will light up. And that's supposed to be turning. Oh, it is turning. Very slowly. Okay, we are officially printing again. We're printing the 6-finger. And we're doing the first bottom layer, which are the critical ones. But I'm thinking we're not going to have a problem with it sticking to the FEP. Is it FEP? I keep getting it wrong. I was corrected. Yeah, I can't remember it. PFA. So I am going to change it again after the sprint. Hopefully everything will be okay. And that's it. This is cured. It looks very cured. And then grabbing the phone, I turned off. Oh boy. What do you think? Perfect. So I'm using default settings, and there's a little drain hole there because you don't want to trap resin inside of it. And didn't look like there's any coming out. That was so successful. So starting over from scratch using default settings, printing a 6-finger head. It's not a real big one. It's kind of a small one, small-ish, like the one I showed you, because I was successfully able to get 2 of those with default settings. So before, and I was using different techniques, so keep your fingers crossed. So here you see the software I'm using, and there's the 6-finger there. You can see all the supports that are going to be there, and I can actually show the print in progress, and you can see that the supports on the inside, you can see how hollow it is, and that's how to print. This is going to be about 8 hours to print. And this is my whole setup that I used for creating CGI, editing films, and all that kind of stuff. I got a nice big powerful Alienware down there that I had built up with special needs. Both these laptops are very, very powerful, not just average laptops. There's one set of VR glasses down there, foot pedals, and somewhere around here are is my yoke and stuff for flight sim and also for racing. So I'm a very lucky person. I'm very grateful to be able to have this much computer power. Well, I just checked. I hit pause. It wasn't feeding for some reason, and this was empty, and it wanted more resin, so I had to put more resin in there. But I had to pause it to do that, and it brought the build plate all the way up, and I could see the base of the 6-finger there. So apparently it's printing it. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I'm gonna let this go all the way, and then we'll find out tomorrow. But it is printing, and it is sticking to the build plate, so that's all good news. You can see where it's at. It's actually starting to print the edges of the base. So another failed print. Yep. At least it stuck to the build plate this time, but I knew part of the way through the print that, oh, ooh, what happened? That switch right there, over there, I hit it to turn the light off, and I turned off the printer on top of it. I was gonna let it go and see what I got, but yeah, so, oh, stinky. We want tool, we want manual, and we want to go up. And we'll see what we got. Oh yeah, you can see it didn't stick to the build plate. I'll give it, to the PLA, but it fell off the back. You can see it got the ears and a lot of the face, but the rest of it didn't make it. And I suspect, that's pretty thin. I'm not sure what went wrong there, but something did. But it did stick to the build plate, and I don't think it stuck to the, yeah, it did. Yeah, part of it stuck down here. So we're gonna have to redo the, we're gonna replace the film on this. So yeah, you can see that it did print some of it. All cleaned up and ready to go. It did not take long. I'm getting faster and faster at this good because this is annoying as hell. You can see here that there's some stuff that's stuck, not really badly. I think I got it right that time. But you can see little lines running, and there's this little burr here, and like, I don't know what that is. It's like a little, I don't know. It's in this material and it's sticking up, and I don't think it's good for printing. Now you can see what was going on here. It picked up printing. It was printing. It would ended up printing all the rest of the head. And you can see the detail. It's really nice. It's beautiful. But for some reason, it had a problem with this. So here's the PFA. I think I got it right that time. PFA. And this is the open frame to put it in. And I have to get this just right with the spacer over the top of it. And then I have to put all these thousands of screws through it. It's not an easy process. It's a very long, drawn-out process, and I wish it was faster, but I'm getting quicker at it every time. Hey, there we are. Tight as a drum, literally. Remember what the spacer did? This here, which they don't tell you about in the instructions. At the factory, they use a spacer. Somewhere it's in there somewhere, but not exactly plain where you can see it. The other thing I don't like is the fact that you see the rust inside these. Those are supposed to be stainless steel. Now, these are pure stainless steel, but the smaller screws are not stainless steel. And I use water-based material. So if you wash this in alcohol, you would never notice that rust, but they're not accounting for using the water-based resin, and they're the ones who make it, among other people. So these screws here, sticking out, align it to the holes on the bed. And yeah, I don't want to put it down this way because there might be something there to damage it. But you can see how much clearer and nicer it is and smoother it is than what I had in it originally. So that's 45 minutes takes to do that. Not quite an hour. Oh. So this took 45 minutes to do. Much faster than the first time I did it. Much faster than the second time I did it. Much faster than the third time I did it. And one of the things I wanted to point out too is to always keep your work area clean. It takes me longer to do stuff because I put every tool back in a line, in a row, make sure it's clean, clean it off, clean off the surface, work off the work area. If I drip resin, I clean it up right away. And it may seem like it costs you more time, but it actually doesn't. You save time by working in a clean space. Your brain doesn't go insane looking at a mess of stuff. You need to keep it clean. It's really important. So here we go, all clean and ready to go. It took less than an hour, so that's not too terrible. Like I said, these printers are not there yet. They're not plug and play, and they're not easy to work with. If you're making small little gaming figures, you got a lot of space here to print a lot of them on at once, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing. But when you print big stuff, it gets a little bit more technical, and you got to know what you're doing, and I don't yet. So this is what we're learning. So look what showed up last night, and this is not the big 3-meter Fox glider from FMS. It's the smaller one. Still, it's got a 90-inch wingspan. It's not a guppy. It's a good size. It'll fly on 3S. If I can get, I can't do this one hand. There. And they want you to fly this on a 1300, and it turns out, because I watched a guy do a review on this, a 2000 milliamp 3S fits perfectly in this slot, and that exactly CGs the airplane according to him. We're going to find out. This goes on like this and snaps down. It's beautiful. I love the pilot. I love the you can't see the gauges saying there's so much glare there. Well, now you can kind of see them. They did a really nice job on it. It's a foam glider. Everything's pre-installed. The servos. And these are nice servos. I've used these on other airplanes. These are not the metal geared ones, I don't think. I mean, they might be. They're digital, which I love. It's got a nice big motor in it, lots of power. So we're going to put this together. There's not much to it. You start with the wings, which is what I'm going to start with first, and I got to put in the control horns. Now, I got to tell you, I've been flying for years and building model airplanes, and this is not really building model airplanes. This is prefab, but, you know, you learn a lot of things over time, and well, God, I don't know, 200 airplanes, scratch built my own, put out kits of jets. There's one over here that from God back in 2008 that I got that I'm building slowly. I've been all through it. I've done everything with this hobby I can practically do, except fly jet turbines, which I've never been interested in. I like jets, but I don't care for the turbines. I like watching other people fly them. But it just, this hobby never gets old. It never gets old. It's always exciting. It's always the next plane. It's always the next experience. And that's what it is. It's an experience, because not only do you get to build a thing, you know, that's a material item, but you get to fly it, and that gives you an experience. And I think that's what really makes this hobby so amazing. You get the experience of flying it. No, you're not in the airplane, but it takes a hell of a lot of skill to fly one of these model airplanes. And most full-size pilots I know, and I know a lot of them, they say it's harder to fly this than a full-size airplane, because you're not in it. And you get to see this wonderful dance in the sky of you flying it, and you get to see it roll and tumble and loop and Longchavak and Cuban 8s and split S's and everything. And it's just this beautiful thing that where you connect with the airplane, and it's you flying it. You really are flying this airplane. So it's really, out of all the hobbies, one of the ones that's most exciting to me. So anyway, getting back to this, I like to take out the parts I need at the time and leave the rest in a cup so I don't lose the screws or in the plastic bags. All these, as it turns out, because the instructions are, you know, very sparse, they're all the same type, which I needed to know. And they go into these holes here, like so. Right over the support like that. And for some reason it's not going in, it's probably because I need both hands. Okay, so these screw in from the back side into the control arm. And then from there, we're gonna put a ball link on there and connect it to the servo. Pretty easy stuff, it really is. So moving on here. This is how I'm setting it up to print this time. Okay. I've got lots of holes in it and lots of heavy supports. I'm not leaning it back on his head because I think that was part of the problem. You can see how it's going to print. And I put a raft under it. I'm using Shih box, and that's how it's going to print. Now, this is how I did the other two, with some minor modifications. I'm using default settings because those seem to have worked fine. If we get a good one, we can start tweaking, but that's how the print's going to work. And you can see that the outer wall is a lot thicker. And these are open enough to drain straight through, I'm hoping, so that the fluid didn't get trapped. But then the other thing you can do is you can just take a drill and go under there. So, and that's it. Let's hope that this print works, because I've got 5 days of rain coming and I can't print during the rain. Back working on the Enterprise, and what I managed to do was get some lights, tiny little magnetic wire running through a tiny hole down in here. It really took some doing. In fact, on this side I made a boo-boo, but I can fix that. But I got it. So now I have the blinking strobe, and it's not super bright, and that's exactly what I want, because if this comes home and goes in my house, I want it to be not, you know, really distracting. And it may come home into my house because it's going to be beautiful. So that took some doing, figuring out how to get the power from up here to there. I had power for the lights, but I didn't have power for the blinkers. That had to come from this board down here. So, and the phone's not focusing really well. Yeah. So, but it worked. And so now I know I can do the other side, and I can hook up the other blinking lights on the bottom really easy. Well, it's I can see sun coming out, and it's amazing. Yeah, look at that. See, it started raining on Friday. It's still raining right now a little bit. We still have more coming, but finally, we're still here. And I say that because 2 years ago, this very month, uh, we had a bad flood, and it was due to uh, the city and the county's mismanagement of the drainage system out there, which is quite substantial. Um, it was full of junk and garbage and homeless people and all kinds of other things. And as a result, when it rained as hard as it did the last 2 days, which put me in a state of PTSD, the thing overflowed and all the water came in here. We had 5 foot of water in our house, and everything was destroyed. All my computers, all the furniture, everything. And we had to have it all replaced and have the house rebuilt. So I am glad to be on the other side of this and realize that they finally got it right. That thing is clean all the time, and we've had that super heavy rain again, and we're still here. So short video. I think I have to look back at the stuff before I edit it, but I didn't get much shot because of the weather. So I stayed inside, and I've been working on my film, my latest film. And but I will show you what's going on. Oh, remember I started working on that plane, and it ended, and I was freaked out by the weather and everything, and I just sort of forgot to shoot. But it wasn't much to putting this together at all. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's big, but if you think that's big, wait till you see what's coming tomorrow. This is a gorgeous glider. It's foam. They fly really well. It's gonna be great for practicing on for what's coming tomorrow. Also, I think I talked about maybe I did last Sunday, a week ago today, this poor little bird was coming in for a landing, and there was a person standing in the runway after they were told that I was landing, and they gave me the all clear, and then he proceeded to walk right in front of my plane. I would have hit him. I pulled up. It stalled the airplane. I missed him. The plane went straight in, and I lost the whole front end. So what I did was I ordered from Horizon, or actually Tower Hobbies, replacement fuselage for it, because they sell all the replacement parts. And you can see what I did here. That's where it connects to the wing, but if you look really closely there, you'll see the cut. And this whole piece was put back on. You can see the cut there, and grafted. Much better than rebuilding out of foam and trying to do all that myself. But then I got this part on, and I went, wait a minute, what's missing here? What's missing here is a vacuum form part that I didn't pick up in the crash, that has the machine guns, 50 caliber machine guns up in the front and all that. And of course, that's missing. So I ordered an entire new one of these. It was only $17, and it has everything. That'll be here next week. And this plane will look almost brand new again. It had very little damage other than that, but the whole front end was gone. You can see that took a hit. But that's going to be fixed really easy. You don't see it anyway. Yes, and those are little tiny jet engines in it. So I love this plane. I've only had it for a few flights. It's brand new. It's sort of a novelty thing like the SR-71. But, you know, when that guy walked right, he was just, I hate to say it, but the guy was not playing with a full deck. And you're never supposed to hit a person, even if they are in the wrong with your airplane. You just don't do that. So, but it gave me a fun project, right? So over here, I've been programming the radio to fly this plane. It's really, really cool. I got the flaps, the spoilers, everything all done on that. And this has been sitting because, and so is this, because with this weather, I can't put another clear coat on it until it gets dry again. Here's some pieces of that. So that's what's going on with that. And, oh yes, let's go look at the printer. Needless to say, I am not going to print in this weather. It's humid, it's cold, none of that's good. But here's that print. And it's a very interesting print. As you can see, it printed a lot of it. And it did a pretty darn good job. But you see that cracking? Look at that. I think part of the problem is that I'm using water-based resin because I can't stand the other stuff because you have to clean it with alcohol and it's expensive and sticky and horrible and I just don't like it. So I switched to this and I've got a lot of it, so I have to use it up. And I've had it crack before. So I have to go back and do research because obviously it was printing fine from here to here. When it got to here, this all collapsed and part of it stuck out there. It's a really weird print. Then I tried printing again. I changed the parameters on it. Then I printed again. I changed the parameters a bit and the settings, and it printed what we call the raft just perfectly. Stuck right to the build plate. But it came loose after a while. It started printing the base of the model of this, that part, and then at some point this stuck. It always sticks to the PFA because there's a suction there, but it broke off. It broke off, and that was sitting on the bottom. So, and this was on the build plate. What that tells me is I need to do more research about this resin. Is one thing when I printed a Rook, because it's pretty solid, but when you're getting thin and you got little parts underneath here and that, you start having problems. This one's leaning back. This one's straight up and down. So I'm going to do some more research. I will get this thing to print because after all, it did print that. So that's where I'm at with that printer. And sorry for the long drawn out explanation, but the printer is working and it's all clean. The build plate's clean. The PFA that's in there is still fine because when I removed the vat and then I drained the vat. And I drained it and then I cleaned it out with soft towel as much as I can so I don't put a lot of it in the water and then dump that into the water system. It goes in the trash instead. I flexed the PFA and it just came loose very easily. And so there was no damage after I replaced that one more time. So that I learned from that. I know what's going on with the build plate. And I know if I get the settings right for this particular resin, it will start printing. This is where I've been spending most of my time during this floody weather at the system. That monitor's out because it's being split. Well, actually, the monitor isn't being split, but this laptop here, which is a new laptop, is feeding to this drawing pad that Mary got me for an early Christmas present. And what's really great about the drawing pad is this. I can do more art. Okay, I'm using Krita. And this is kind of the first thing I started working on, and it's kind of a watercolor. It's not finished. I'm at maybe 30% of the way into this. But I got to tell you, this program is amazing. And on top of that, I am learning 2D animation, and I've got 2D animation programs over on the big machine here that will allow me to do cartoon animation, which is something I really want to do. And I could do things like this for the background and all that. So that's some of the stuff I'm working on. And over here, and the film I'm working on now is all being done using Unreal Engine and Blender. And this is, I'm using DaVinci for the editor. And so I'm working on that. And this film will be done in a few weeks. I still have to finish the score, which is being done on this using this system here, MP3 Beats. Yeah, so I've been really busy with that. So as if I don't do enough stuff. Lastly, I'm going to show you what is coming tomorrow. Thanks to Jeff Proteus, who is paying off my work for his model building with this 129-inch wingspan Bergefalk, which is Mountain Hawk, I think it is in German. It's a 1951 German glider. It's quite large, not as big as they would normally get in the big glider era, but of RC, but right up there. And it's all balsa and covered, not a foam airplane. This is something I've been wanting for quite a while. They fly beautifully. Um, as you can see. And it doesn't look that big, but 130-inch wingspan is a good size plane. So that's coming tomorrow, and that's going to be a very interesting build project. Now, of course, the plane is already built. I wanted to get a kit, and I wanted to build something like that myself, but the kits are so expensive, and they're all in Europe, and guess what? They won't ship here. So that's a problem. And when I went to Tower, I found that they had the Nexus gliders, which are all balsa and ply built, beautiful models that I love building myself, but it's already done for you. However, there's lots of modifications I'm going to make to it, with putting in a cockpit and gauges and a pilot and setting it up and building a dolly to launch it, because it's too big to be hand launched. You can't just toss this one, run the motor up and toss it. It's very iffy if it's going to get airborne before it hits the grass or the runway if you do it that way. So I'm going to build a dolly, and it sits in the dolly, and you advance the throttle, and the dolly goes down the runway, and the plane gets lift, and it comes out of the dolly, and that's it. So I'm going to be doing that, and you still have to put the major components together, so we'll be doing that. So that's what's coming next week on Steve Neiills Garage, and always, as always, thank you for watching the channel. Be sure to subscribe and like the channel, because it helps, and I'm trying to get the channel to grow. Years ago, when Doug Drexler named the channel Steve Neiills Garage, and it became SNG, at one point I had 1.5 million views and a lot more subscribers than I do now. But then, with all the things that were going on with the passing of my late wife and moving up here and meeting Mary and everything else, I sort of didn't stick with it that much. I did with the new studio, but it just wasn't ever the same. And then we started a new channel 2 years ago. That took up all my time. So I'm trying to get the channel to be consistent and post a video every week. So it's available every Monday. So bear with me, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.